Okay, here they come. And then Katie, will you keep an eye on letting people in after this? Thanks.
Of course.
I see a lot of friendly faces or
Avatar.
pictures. Yeah, avatars. Craig, what is going on over there?
It's apparently a new feature, and I guess it's actually responding to my voice. I thought I'd use a judge look with that silly hair I found. I upgraded to the latest Zoom, so what are you going to do?
You're gonna play with it. Because that's what we do. That's why we're here. We're here to play with some new toys. And let's see, I'm gonna wait just another minute. We have a good group of people here so far. Many of you I see in the chats. Okay. Let's show my video. Hey, Ab. Welcome. Okay, here we go. Today, we're talking with Joe Apfelbaum, who a lot of you know from the WhatsApp chats and EO, as somebody who is all over LinkedIn and biz dev and AI and does some fun things with AI. We've seen the images he's made, the cartoons, the videos, and he's got a lot of useful information as well about how he's leveraging AI for biz dev on LinkedIn. And I think that's what a lot of people were really interested to hear about. So I will turn it over to you, Joe, and screen share away. We're recording this, and your AIs are welcome.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Really appreciate it. And thank you for always adding value in the group as well. So for those of you that are logging in here, feel free to put in your LinkedIn URL in the chat so I can take a look at your LinkedIn URLs. I'm curious to know who here is actually using LinkedIn. A lot of people aren't using LinkedIn. So if you are using LinkedIn, go ahead and put in your LinkedIn URL in the chat. And I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I'm going to be showing you some things that I do on LinkedIn specifically. And I also want to run you by, just like in general, some of the things that I've found are really useful for using AI for just in general. So I'm going to quickly just share my screen. This is my LinkedIn that you could probably see over here. And I'm going to click on the chat to see who's chatting over here with us. Okay, good. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. Okay, so let me pull up my presentation real quick. So in general, when I talk about AI for business development, I'm talking about it for both networking and for prospecting. So a lot of people don't know the difference in networking and prospecting. So you can totally just ask ChatGPT, what's the difference in networking and prospecting? But networking is more about building relationships with people and getting to know people. And prospecting is more about identifying if somebody's a qualified lead for you. So when you're on LinkedIn, you can definitely do both of those things. There's just different ways to do it. So if you're using the organic platform, it's more for networking and building relationships. So if I'm, for example, reading Alex's profile over here that comes up, his post that he posted, I can read the post and I can think about what to write as a comment if I want to stay top of mind with him, or I can use artificial intelligence, pick a goal, pick a tone. In this case, maybe I'll just use a professional tone. I hit generate, and there's lots of different tools that you can use to do this. The reason I like this particular tool is not just because I created it, but also because this tool allows me to save every comment that I post and also to enter my own command into here. And I press insert, and then great post, Alex, it's important to blah, blah, blah. And then I press post, and now I just wrote a comment on LinkedIn. So for those of you that are, the way that I used to do this, I used to copy and paste the post, put it into ChatGPT and ask it to write me a comment. Now I just built a software that just basically does that very, very quickly, and it allows me to leave comments. So there's a lot of things that you can do. For me, networking on LinkedIn is really the way to go. That's how I build relationships and close business. And knowing how to network with people on LinkedIn using artificial intelligence could be really, really useful. So for those of you that are a little distracted, maybe multitasking, I recommend closing your distractions, drinking some water, because a 5% drop in hydration is a 30% drop in energy, and engage with me in the chat if you have any questions or any concerns or anything like that. And also, of course, take some notes. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Joe Apfelbaum. I'm the CEO of Ajax Union, a marketing agency based in Brooklyn. And we're using AI now to be able to create strategies for our clients and to be able to brainstorm and to be able to research competitors and to do so many amazing things. For those of you that don't know ChatGPT, you definitely could use ChatGPT for LinkedIn. So for those of you that have never heard of it or never used it, GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's like an advanced autocomplete, and you can use natural language to kind of talk to the AI about that. And it's a phenomenal tool that has grown very, very quickly. Here are some stats, very, very fast. And if you're not sure how to do prompt engineering, the idea of learning prompt engineering could be very powerful for your business if you learn how to speak to the AI using the terminologies that you need to use in order to speak to it. So you can treat it like an accountant, you can treat it like a person that understands the financial markets, as an IT architect. In my case, what I want to do is, because we're talking about LinkedIn specifically, is I want to talk to it as a content manager or a LinkedIn manager or a social media manager. So when you're talking to it and you want to come up with ideas, you want to brainstorm ideas for what to post about on LinkedIn. And I'm curious to know, what industry are you guys in? In the chat, go ahead and put in your industry. I'm always curious to see what industries people are in. I'm in B2B marketing, so I'm going to write that in the chat, B2B marketing. I put that in the chat there. Let's see, meeting group chat. So I think I put it in as meeting group chat. So franchising, experiential marketing. Tell you a couple of quick stories. I had a client that I recently told to start using ChatGPT, and she's the CEO of a company. She went in there and she writes, "What's the weather in New York?" And it says, "I'm sorry, I'm an AI language model. I don't have access to real-time weather." So if you're going to give poor instructions to the program, it's not going to work very well. It's not going to give you the results that you want. So for example, in my case, I said, act as a LinkedIn profile writer and create a LinkedIn about section as a bio that includes a title, company name, target market, problem solved. Keep the section to 1,500 characters. So I give it very specific instructions on what to do, and then it builds this out for me. So I'm going to pull up the first person who shared their profile on LinkedIn over here. I can just take your profile and post it right here as a message onto here. Just literally just copy and paste what it shows about you over here. You see that? I'm just copying and pasting information about him into the chat. And I'm going to take some of his experience. Okay, copy some of his experience in over here. And then I'm going to take some of his education, his licenses, paste it in over here. What I also sometimes like to do is, languages, Spanish. I like that. I'm going to drop in your language here. What I also sometimes like to do is try to find a bio somewhere on the internet about a person. So maybe I'll click on this link over here. I'll click on view, see if I can find a better bio, because sometimes people don't put bios on their profile. I'm just going to copy this over. Actually, I'm going to Google you and see what comes out. If I could find a bio somewhere, that's a little bit better. So if I can quickly find a bio online, it would make it even better. Let me see if I could find one. Let me see what I could find here. Okay, so cool. I'm going to take this here as well. Do you see that? I'm going to copy it here and paste it in because a little more information. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this that I used here, copy that, Control home. See, there's a lot of copying and pasting that I'm doing. I'm going to actually X this out. I'll start a new chat. I'm going to use ChatGPT 4 because ChatGPT 4 is a little smarter. And I'm going to paste all that information in over here and let's see what it does. Look at this. Look what it's doing here. It's fascinating what you can do from here with this. And this is specifically for LinkedIn. So right now, if you want to compare his current about section on LinkedIn, this is what his current about section says on LinkedIn. Do you see that? It has 2 lines, but it can actually have up to 2,500 characters. And so I'm actually optimizing his current about section using ChatGPT in real time. By the way, if you find this fascinating, just write cool, fascinating, amazing, unbelievable, wonderful, gotta try it, something. And as you can see, I just copied and pasted a bunch of information. And now I have a beautiful, beautiful organized thing that you can now use on your profile. It says it's too long. It says it's too long right now. So I'm going to press the connect button. Here's something else that I like to do on LinkedIn is I like to connect with people. So if you guys are not connecting with people, but when you connect with somebody, I recommend using a note. But what are you going to write in your note? I'm just going to let AI do that for me. I'm going to let AI write up the note for me. So you see, put his first name in. It shows that he has a background in physics and passion for learning. Are you open to connecting? And you see the way the format, the way that it did it. I press connect and I'm able to just quickly connect. And I'm going to also send you a message. Now I'm going to be sending you this message in Sales Navigator. Some info for you to use on your profile. Okay, and I'm going to press send. I send it through Sales Navigator because we're not actually connected on LinkedIn. And I sent him his whole about section on LinkedIn and so on. Chris says, cool. Does it help people searching for your service? I've never used LinkedIn, so excuse the ignorance, Chris. 100% helps because right now he doesn't have a lot of keywords and content here on his profile. And after he uses this, as you can see, there's a lot more information about who he is, what he does, how he does it. And so if somebody searches fractional CTO services, which is what he does for a living, it doesn't say it on his LinkedIn profile right now. So no one's going to find him when they're searching for fractional CTO services. Now, I didn't even give the tool a list of keywords. It's smart enough based on my prompts to be able to do this. So it's really powerful to be able to optimize your profile using this type of technology because it's really helpful. And also when I send a connection request, I don't know about you, but if I customize a connection request when I'm connecting with somebody, it makes it much more likely that I'll accept the connection request. Because if I just send somebody a connection request and it's irrelevant, you probably get a lot of that spam. Like, for example, if I'm going to pull up Tiger's profile over here, it might be
Hey,
Tiger.
Joe, can I ask you real quick? We just had a lot of people join. How did you start the prompt in ChatGPT to get that bio?
Okay, so for those of you that are just joining right now, we are creating, we're optimizing LinkedIn using technology, using AI. And there's a few different AI tools that you can use to do this. The one that I'm using right now is called ChatGPT. And the way that I started the prompt is I started with act as an expert LinkedIn profile writer. Now, the reason I wrote act as an expert LinkedIn profile writer is because I wanted this AI to take on the role of not just a LinkedIn profile writer, but an expert LinkedIn profile writer. So that's the prompt that I started it with, Nicole. And the reason I started it with that is because it's important to assign a role to the chat, to the AI, in order for it to successfully speak to you. So if I was going to create a connection note for Tiger, I can create one manually, or I can choose a tool that will help me be able to create it, like this one over here, that will actually read the profile and create a solid connection request. And then once you connect, I can send you direct messages using an AI tool as well. Now, there's another Chrome extension that I like to use that really helps me be able to understand what goes on a page. Like, for example, let's say I'm on a YouTube video. I don't know if you guys use YouTube at all. And let's say I find a YouTube video on how to get endorsements on LinkedIn. Okay, let's say I want to know, how do I get endorsements on LinkedIn? How do I get 99+ endorsements on LinkedIn using a 5-step easy method? So now there's a video playing. Do you guys see this video is playing? It's a 5-minute video. I don't want to sit there and watch the whole video. As a matter of fact, I want AI to watch the video for me and to give me a summary of the video. So it's going to parse the video and actually use my ChatGPT and give me a summary of the video. Now you might say, okay, Joe, but why is that? Why is it helpful for me to get a summary of a video of LinkedIn and what of something to do on LinkedIn? Because I can then take this content right over here that it's summarized for me. I can copy it, and then I could use it as a LinkedIn post. So right now I have a post on LinkedIn. Do you want to have a LinkedIn engagement party? How does it work? Just leave a comment with your top skill. Do you want to be endorsed for, right? And I'm looking for content about why endorsing people on LinkedIn is important. So instead of me writing a bunch of content, I can take a YouTube video, have ChatGPT watch the whole video for me, okay? And then just write me all these things. 5 methods to get endorsements on LinkedIn, ask people directly. Do you see that? So now I'm giving a bunch of tips to people. And of course, I'm going to read this and make sure that it makes sense. But in your industry, whatever industry you wrote in, whether you're in recruiting, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in finance, whatever you're in, you can definitely find YouTube videos. By the way, what type of YouTube video would you search for? In the chat, go ahead and put in what type of YouTube video you would search for. So I'm putting this over here on thing. If you have questions in the comments of the video, post it. Let me know what your top skill is. Let me know in the comments.
What's the Chrome extension?
What is the Chrome extension that I used? Let
Yes.
me right click on this one. This is called HARPA-AI.
Thank you.
HARPA-AI. So, okay, let me know in the comments what your top skill is. I would love to endorse you for your skill. Okay, your skill. I'm going to do hashtag endorsements. Endorsements. Recommendations. Okay, so as you can see, I'm gonna post this post over here. I'm just gonna quickly just scan through this, make sure it doesn't say anything that's crazy. Click on the person's profile, click on show more, blah, 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 make it useful, make it da-da-da. If you have questions or suggestions, put them in the comments, boom. So now I just posted something on LinkedIn that's highly valuable, that's not duplicate content or copied from anybody. It was completely customly created for me. And now, based off a YouTube video that's relevant to what I'm posting, and now I have a beautiful post, mostly written by ChatGPT. And by the way, if you go into ChatGPT and you refresh the page, I'm going to refresh the page. It's going to show the HRP right over here. Do you see that? It created a new thing from the Chrome extension. I never needed to leave YouTube to use ChatGPT because it's using my ChatGPT behind the scenes without the API. So it's not using the API. So ChatGPT is different than the API. The other tool that I created called EvyAI, EVYAI.com, this tool uses the API, but it uses my API key. So if you download this tool for free to generate comments on LinkedIn, to write posts, to create recommendations, to message, any of this stuff, that uses my API key. So people can use it for free, or they can pay for premium and they get unlimited comments, unlimited posts, unlimited profile optimizations, and so on. But that uses my API key. There are tools that will use your API key. There are Chrome extensions that will use your API key. And then there are Chrome extensions that will use ChatGPT directly. So it's almost like injecting itself into ChatGPT without me starting a new chat. You see that? And look at this one, Nicole. It says, I want you to only answer in English.
Yeah.
Because some of the videos are in Spanish and other languages and so on. So it's very smart the way that it does that. It takes the title of the video, the transcript chunk, and all that stuff. And I don't have to sit there watching the whole thing. It basically just gives it to me in seconds. And then I post it on LinkedIn. So I'll post. So somebody's like, Joe, can I see it? The way that you see somebody's stuff on LinkedIn, if you want to see someone's stuff, is you go to their profile. A lot of people don't know how to do this, Nicole, so I'm just showing. You go to someone's profile, you scroll down to where it says see all posts. You click on that. And then you can see every a person's complete and total posts. It says Joe reposted this. I don't remember reposting that. But let me see what's going on over here. Okay, so you click on those 3 dots over here, click on copy, post the link. And now, as you can see, I copied a post to the link and I shared with you guys the link to that post. So you can actually read it yourself in case you wanted to read it. What's going on over here? Why is it saying that I reposted all this stuff over here? Okay, I'll look into that later. But do you guys see what I'm talking about? Nicole, were you gonna ask a question?
Well, there were a couple of questions earlier when you were doing the bio,
Okay.
asking if you would share the full prompt that you used. Can you drop a link to the
Yeah,
prompt in the chat?
I can actually go ahead and copy this link to the actual chat so you guys have access to that chat.
Thank you.
I just shared the chat with you guys. One of the most effective ways that I use AI in business, and especially ChatGPT or Google Bard, is to help me brainstorm my ideas for new products, new market, new ideas, and even for LinkedIn posts. So if you guys are not using it to brainstorm, I highly recommend using it to brainstorm. I'll say something like, can you help me brainstorm an idea I have for a new business to create a new app that coaches CEOs, and it'll kind of do that. Or I have an idea for posts on LinkedIn. It'll come up with lots of different ideas. I actually developed my course using AI. So while chatting with ChatGPT, one day I realized that people have no idea how to use the tool. So I asked AI to help me actually create my course. So the course that I have, Evyrgreen AI, I actually created with AI, and over 100 people bought my course in the first week of me launching it. And I also built Evy AI that helps you with leaving comments on LinkedIn and all that. I built that using AI. It really helped me build it out. I use it to tell my kids bedtime stories, and then I write about it on LinkedIn. So if you guys don't use ChatGPT or Midjourney, I use that to create stories for my kids, and I chat with them about that. And my team has been trained on how to use the tools to help them brainstorm with clients, research our clients, their competitors, like all this other stuff. So I love training marketing agencies and their employees on how to use these tools as well. So in order to improve your life on LinkedIn, using specifically on LinkedIn or just in general, doing it to brainstorm, to research, and to create strategy can really helpful. You can also summarize like YouTube videos I showed you. You can create content like posts. You can create scripts like calling scripts. Like let's say you want to call your connections and you have a specific target market you're targeting. By the way, if you want to share who your target market is, put it in the chat. I can show you some ways to be able to find those target markets and speak to them. But go ahead in the chat. You can put in who your target market is. I'm curious to know. And also, you can create content calendars. You can create emails that you can send to people, and you could use it for creativity. So there's lots of different ways that you could use it. So for example, if I was going to pull up somebody else's profile, and I'll do that right now. Let me pull up Juan's profile over here. So I see Juan is the CEO of Quixote. We have a pending connection request. We're actually not connected on LinkedIn, but if I wanted to send him a message, I can send him a message from Apollo.io, which has built-in artificial intelligence. So if I click on this tool right over here, I can save his contact. So Apollo is going to give me his email address. Do you guys see that? Apollo gave me his email address automatically. I don't know, Juan, is this your actual email? Is this the correct email? I don't want to send you an email to the wrong place.
Yes, it is correct.
Okay, muchas gracias. So I hover over his thing right over here, and I click on send an email. And then what I can do is right from LinkedIn, without leaving LinkedIn, I can add him to an automation that's AI generated. Or what I can do is I can select a template, which I created this email with AI. So you see this unleash your power with Evy AI, blah, 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 your sidekick. So I can go ahead and send him this email from my email. I'll actually change my email address over here because I have multiple emails I could send it from. And I'll delete this signature and I'll show this signature. So as you can see, I created this whole thing. Now, if I wanted to do this in Spanish, Juan, what I would do is I would copy and paste this content here and tell it to please translate it into Spanish. So I'll show you guys how I do that in ChatGPT. So I go in here, I create new chat. I'm going to use ChatGPT 4, write, rewrite this email in Spanish. Okay. All right, let's see what it does. Hoy, estoy emocionada de compartir unas fantasias noticias contigo. Nuestra aplicación de inteligencia artificial para LinkedIn. Okay, acaba. Okay, so I'm basically writing this whole thing in Spanish. So if I want to email him in Spanish now, right now I'm going to email him in English. But if I wanted to email him in Spanish with the same exact email, I can now add it as a template to Apollo, and then I can start sending out Spanish emails as well. Does anybody here? ¿Alguien habla español aquí? Solo yo y Juan. Nadie más? ¿Hay otra persona que habla en español aquí? I'm curious to know if anybody else speaks Spanish. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. But as you can see, I have a pending connection request with Juan. I can send him a message using AI. I could send him an email using AI. I can do it in different languages. And I could even create an AI avatar, which is a fake version of me that basically will read all this and essentially just, you know, connect with him and send him all that. So let's say I wanted to send him this email over here in Spanish. I would literally go to his email over here, hover over, or send an email, and I can say, come up with 3 subject lines in Spanish for this email. Make them short. Okay, so I can give it instructions in English on how to do things in Spanish. Okay, so now I'm going to create a couple subject lines for this email, and I am going to Control-Shift-V to paste it without all the garbage. And then I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to grab this one over here. And I'm going to send him this email here with this beautiful Spanish subject line, which, by the way, I don't know how to write in Spanish. I know how to speak in Spanish, but I can't write in Spanish. So now I sent him a professional written Spanish email. Now, I would recommend having someone proofread it that actually speaks Spanish and reads Spanish properly, because sometimes the Spanish is not going to be appropriate. Not inappropriate in an unprofessional way. I just mean it's not going to be real Spanish. It'll talk some gibberish or whatever. So when you're creating templates for Spanish stuff, I would recommend just making sure that you're doing it correctly by speaking to people. Okay, any other questions that you guys have about that? I just showed you guys a bunch of stuff on what to do, and I want to make sure I'm not just going off the deep end over here. So Nicole, how are we doing so far?
I mean, I think you're providing a lot of value for everybody, and I would be curious about who would be implementing and if this is something that your team would be helping out with. And we're going to do a recording of this so that if there's any other team members you want to share it with, then they can learn about this too. Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I love about using tools is that you don't have to copy and paste information into ChatGPT. You can use Chrome extensions like the ones I showed you to be able to do things much, much faster. So I'm curious to know if you guys have any questions or concerns or anything like that. As you can see, if I want to send Julie an email, I'm not sure that it'll pick up her email over here, but often it will pick up her email. Julie, is this the right email for you? I'm not sure that it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I can just literally click on this little box over here. I can send you any of these templates that I have. So we have a pending connection request. So this, Julie, it looks like we have a pending connection request on LinkedIn. Would you be able to accept? So one of the things that I like to do when I teach people how to use LinkedIn is teaching them how to also send out emails to people, because a lot of the times people they have a clogged, you know, I'll show you how many connection requests I have waiting for me. Do you see that? I have 2,100 whatever requests over here, invitations for stuff. And I have over 1,000 people waiting to connect with me on LinkedIn. I can't just accept everybody. So I need to make sure I'm accepting the right people. So sometimes somebody will send me a connection request and I won't see it. And I would love to connect with them. So if they sent me an email, I'm probably more likely to know that they sent me a connection request, especially if it includes some stuff, you know, that AI helped me write up and so on. Kathleen, let me check out your profile over here. CEO Mantra Franchise Group. That's awesome. Another thing that I like to do is if I'm connected to somebody on LinkedIn, I love to create something called the LinkedIn recommendation for them. I don't know if you guys have LinkedIn recommendations, but you can use AI to write really good recommendations on LinkedIn. In this case, I'll make it a little more informative. And then I'll show you, Nicole. I think me and you are connected on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if we are, but
Yeah, I think so.
let me find you real quick, and I'll write you a LinkedIn recommendation, because I want everyone to sit down and write LinkedIn recommendations for people that they find valuable in their network. So Nicole is an expert at AI, and I find her being very valuable in my network. So I'm going to press more. So this is how you do it. So if you don't know how to leave a recommendation for someone, you press more, and then you press the recommend button. You see that? And if you guys are connected to me, I would appreciate a recommendation. It does help leaving recommendations for people. If they added value to your life, then definitely go ahead and recommend Nicole, recommend me, recommend people that are in your life that you're connected to. So if I press recommend, now it's going to ask me our relationship. So me and Nicole have an amazing relationship. You were a client, Nicole was a client of mine, so I'm just going to write, I was a client of Nicole. And I'm going to write for AI Smart Marketing. And now what I want to do is I want to just give it a little bit about what I want to write about. Nicole is a great AI teacher and expert. Highly recommend her agency for my clients. Okay. Now I'm not just going to write that because that doesn't look good. Okay. So I'm going to click on this little Evy AI thing. I'm going to do generate. It's actually going to read her whole profile, including what I wrote there and everything about her. And it's going to generate a relevant, hopefully something relevant that I can use. And it's going to say, I highly recommend Nicole for her expertise in AI and marketing as founder of blah, 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 her extensive blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Nicole's passion for marketing, dedication, blah, blah, blah. Customer journey, blah, blah, blah. I had the pleasure of working Nicole as a client at blah, 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 blah. Send. Okay. I'm going to press send now for Nicole. And now Nicole has a 3-paragraph, beautiful recommendation that she can take a screenshot of, post on LinkedIn, let everybody know how amazing I think she is. And it's pending. She has to accept it. And once she accepts it, it'll come up right over here. Okay, so right now she has 24. So I'm her 25th recommendation, and it'll show up right here under received if she decides that I am worthy of being on her profile. If I want to give her an endorsement, I just click on endorse for AI and for PR and for networking. She's a great networker. I know her for many years. I'm going to press endorse for networking. So I just gave her 3 endorsements and a recommendation. And how long did that take me? So if you're endorsing your clients, your potential clients, the people in your life that you appreciate, the people that you know well, or you're recommending those people, it's much easier to use AI to do that. Now, of course, you can do what I did at the beginning, which is copy and paste everything into ChatGPT and have ChatGPT write it. But for me personally, I'd rather use a Chrome extension that just does it for me. Let's see what people are saying over here in the chat.
All right, I added it. I accepted it. Thank you for the recommendation. And
awesome.
it's a good thing to do. We're actually doing that in our class today with all of our students because we want them to, it gives us recommendations and it gives them recommendations, which is, helpful for everybody.
Amazing. And look how pretty this recommendation came out here, guys.
It looks great.
Guys, what do you think? Valuable or not valuable? In the chat, how valuable is this for you and your business? And by the way, I'm going to take a screenshot of this now. I'm going to use a little screenshot tool to pull up a little screenshot over here. And look what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a little screenshot like this. You see, I'm going to take a screenshot of this and I'll make it really easy for Nicole to post this. And then I'm going to click on highlighter and I'm going to highlight. Nicole is a great teacher. Nicole's passion, dedication, blah, blah, blah. I'm consistently impressed by her expertise. Okay, provide me with strategies. If you're looking for a marketing expert who can deliver, I highly recommend Nicole. Her passion, her experience, invaluable for your marketing goals. So I could write, I highly recommend Nicole. You see that? And now I could even add arrows. I'm going to add some arrows here. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to copy this and see if it can throw it into, oh, look at that. I was able to just dump it in there for you. Now you can take this and you can write a post and you can actually ask ChatGPT or Google Bard to write a post about you, about how quickly it was to leave a recommendation using artificial intelligence and people's opinions about it.
And I can tag you.
Of course, you can mention me. And if I go to my notifications here, there's a button called mentions. and I can click on mentions, and I can see all the people that have mentioned me over here in the past. Very powerful. So yeah, so I love going on the feed and literally just, clicking on the AI button, and then staying top of mind with my clients, with my potential clients. Somebody asked about, is LinkedIn good for B2C? LinkedIn is a good business networking platform for if you need referrals. LinkedIn is a great platform. There's 930 million members on LinkedIn. So if you go to about.linkedin.com, they actually write how many people are on LinkedIn over here, and they keep updating it. So that's the place where I go to look to see how many people are on LinkedIn. And so if your business is compatible with business networking, regardless if you're business to business or business to consumer, if you have a high value product and you would go to a networking event to build relationships, to try to get new clients, then LinkedIn is a great platform for you, because LinkedIn is a place where you can network 24/7. There are other platforms. Don't get me wrong. There's a platform called Alignable, which, by the way, I use artificial intelligence as well with Alignable. And I love Alignable. Alignable has 8 million members in the United States and Canada. So if your clients are in the United States and Canada and they're small business owners, this platform is a great platform. You can see how many people visited my profile on Alignable, and you can actually see who visited my profile. So you can, same thing with LinkedIn. You can see who visited your profile, first name, last name, company name, where they work, how long they work there, and all that. So I see people, I have clients over here, director of sales and marketing. So I can build a relationship with this person, send them a message. Erica, I see that you're on top of the list of the most recommended businesses coaches and Alignable. I spelled coaches wrong. I would be honored to connect with you, and would you be open to connecting? And now I'm going to say thanks for connecting. Hope to get to know you more. Okay, so now I'm going to present. So I'm building relationships with people on other platforms as well. And I'm using AI to help me rewrite my profile, to help me come up with my strategy, to help me communicate, and all this other stuff. So really, really powerful. For me, it's been invaluable to use artificial intelligence. And it just makes everything that I do go faster. Whatever I'm doing on LinkedIn, whether I'm sending DMs, whether I'm sending emails, whether I'm doing things in different languages, it makes everything go absolutely faster. So I highly recommend you guys start using it. Use it even just to create connection notes, adding a note, knowing what to write. I often don't know what to write in a note. I get confused about it. I'm not sure what I should write that would add value. Having AI suggested for you could be really helpful, especially if it'll customize and add the person's name to it and their company name and everything, because that'll make it much more likely that the person will accept your connection request rather than just hoping for the best. Hope is a great thing, it's just not the best strategy. So I always recommend using an actual strategy. And of course, AI can help you create those strategies and so on. Same thing if you're like seeing somebody that posted on LinkedIn. So for example, you could, like I showed you earlier, how you can look at somebody's posts on LinkedIn, and this person is in Spanish, él habla español. So I can find the post that he's created here. And I see these are all just reposts. They're not actual posts. They're actual reposts. So I'm looking over here to see if he wrote any posts that are unique to him. And I don't see any posts that are unique to him. There is a search functionality where you can actually search somebody's posts on LinkedIn. I don't know if you guys know that, but you can click on posts, and then you can do posted from member, and you can put a member's name in, and you can actually search all their posts. So I see he posted 4 months ago over here. I click on comment. Now I can go ahead and leave an informative comment. Now, I've never tested this out to do it in English versus Spanish, and it understands the Spanish article, and it posted something in English to a Spanish article, which is really cool. Very nice. But that's the idea. You see the way I left a comment on his thing and the way I was able to do this right here. So I'd love to answer any questions that you guys have. I see somebody's in the waiting room. Okay, we just let him in. Thank you. My question is, what do you guys want to know how to do on LinkedIn using AI? I'm going to go back to see if there's any other questions that I missed. What is the Chrome extension called? Okay, we mentioned that. Can you copy and paste the entire prompt? I copy and paste the entire conversation. So is this SEO? We mentioned SEO. Yes, it's important to have SEO. I've never looked at LinkedIn. Okay, cool. So look, the idea is you want to use, I'm going to tell you 6 things that you can do with AI on LinkedIn. Number 1 is send connection requests. You saw the way I customize a connection request. send those notes, include the notes. Number 2, write a post. I showed you how I transcribed a YouTube video and I wrote a post. I want to keep things simple for you guys. Number 3 is leave comments. You can copy posts, paste them into ChatGPT, tell it to write a comment, or you can use a Chrome extension. The one that I created is called EvyAI, EVYAI.com, or you can just, there's a few other ones you can use with your own API key and so on. The next thing you want to do is you want to leave recommendations. You saw the way I left Nicole a recommendation on LinkedIn. Not rocket science, but it makes it easy. Of course, add context. You saw that I wrote she's an amazing person and I love the way she works, whatever. Write a sentence and then it'll make it into paragraphs for you. And you can customize those paragraphs or whatever. Send direct messages to people on LinkedIn. I didn't show you how I do that, but you can send direct messages. You can go into the DM and DM people on LinkedIn using my tool, or there's a variety of other tools that you can use to do that. Send emails to people on LinkedIn using AI. So you can craft an email. I showed you guys how I took an email to someone who speaks Spanish, found their email address using an AI tool called Apollo, and then convert that email to Spanish and then send them a Spanish email without even being connected to the guy. This is global, my friends. You can do this in 200 different languages. So could you imagine somebody sending somebody an email in their native tongue, even a short email? It doesn't have to be a long email. Very powerful. And those are the 6 things that I recommend doing. And of course, a bonus is optimizing your profile. So I showed you guys how to optimize your profile. I'm not sure if I mentioned that as one of the 6 things, but I highly recommend optimizing your profile, optimizing your headline, optimizing your experience, optimizing your about section. There's many different areas that you could optimize. And of course, if you need additional training, I do have other resources. I have an AI course and I have a LinkedIn training program and many other stuff. So if you need me to come speak for your chapter or if you need me to come speak for your company, please definitely hit me up. My email address is joe@ajaxunion.com. That's joe@ajaxunion.com. If you want to schedule a call with me, for all EO members, I'm happy to get on a one-on-one call with you. You could just email scheduling@ajaxunion.com and my assistant will find us a time to talk. I love speaking to EO members and other CEOs. If you have any direct questions for me, you could find me on LinkedIn, joelinkedin.com. I bought the domain and I forwarded it to my email, to my domain, and I highly recommend everyone do that. So if you're a speaker, if you're on podcasts and you want to tell people how to find you on LinkedIn, you just buy a domain and forward it. So a domain that's really easy would be your first name and LinkedIn on it. And some people say, hey, isn't it a problem buying a domain with the word LinkedIn on it? Because LinkedIn, but if you're sending it to LinkedIn, it doesn't matter because you're sending a domain to LinkedIn that's LinkedIn. So I don't think it's an issue, but speak to your lawyers. If you have a lawyer, speak to your lawyer about any legal questions. But I bought joelinkedin.com. I forward it to LinkedIn and have a good day. And it goes to my profile. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have? So what value did you guys get from this? I know that you guys were valuable, amazing, incredible. What value did you guys get from this? Andrea said extension installed and already using it. Very powerful. Does it work on mobile? No, it doesn't work on mobile. There are extensions that work on mobile, but LinkedIn doesn't allow things to overlay on mobile. We're testing out building our extension specifically for LinkedIn for mobile, but we're having some issues with that. So we're looking into doing it. But right now it works on Google Chrome. It's approved by the Google Chrome store. And if you want to find more Chrome extensions, you can literally go to the Google Chrome store. So I'm going to right click on this and do manage extension, and then you can view it. So any extension that you have, you can view in the Chrome store by right clicking and manage extension. And I turned on developer mode here so I can upload my own extensions. But if I click on view in Chrome store, you'll see it in the Chrome store. If you guys are using this tool, if you decide to use it, even the free version, please go to where it says reviews and write me a review about what you think about this. That would be really helpful for me. I am looking to get more reviews on this product. I still haven't officially announced that I launched this, so it's kind of like private, because I want to make sure I work out all the kinks before I actually announce it or before I actually do anything like that. So if you guys could leave me a positive review, that would be helpful. If you're not happy with it, please don't leave a review. Thank you. But yeah, leaving a positive review would be helpful. And if you want to find other extensions, you can click on extensions. And there's so many different Chrome extensions you can try out and test if you have time to do that. Otherwise, inside our course, we have 20 different tutorials on 20 different AI tools that we teach people how to use. So if you want more info about my course, feel free to hit me up and I'm happy to share it with you. Nicole, anything else that I should be sharing.
I have one question for you. How much time do you spend connecting with people on LinkedIn personally? And do you have an assistant, a VA, somebody that helps you with that?
So personally, I spend a minimum of 15 minutes every single day, 5 minutes connecting, 5 minutes engaging, 5 minutes posting something of value. Those are the three things that I do on LinkedIn every day. I do have a full-time assistant that works overseas that sits on my LinkedIn all day. And if there's a DM that somebody sends me that I need to address, she will post it in Slack and tag my regular assistant, and my regular assistant will get on a call with me and review all the Slacks. So that's kind of like the way that I manage my inbox on LinkedIn, because I'm busy on calls doing this presentation, traveling. I have 5 kids. I have a lot of things going on in my life, so I'm not on LinkedIn all the time. But I have an assistant that's my LinkedIn assistant, and she's on there all day, replying, helping me reply to stuff that are obvious that just need a thank you, sending happy birthday messages. So I have a checklist called the LinkedIn workflow that I walk people through 10 different things that you need to do every single day. And I present that to companies and individuals and groups and so on. So just like a very simple checklist, and we work through exactly what to do. But if you want to really base it down, Nicole, 15 minutes a day is the minimum that every executive needs to be on LinkedIn. If you're looking for employees, if you're looking for clients, if you're looking for opportunities, if you're not there, you will miss out on opportunities. Somebody said, Joe, do you need LinkedIn Premium? I do recommend LinkedIn Premium. And by the way, people that pay attention. And so if you invest in courses, if you invest in training, you're going to pay more attention to what you're doing. And if you invest in LinkedIn, I invested in Alignable too. I paid $300 or $250 for the year. So that's the idea.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for the Zoom today. We'll send out a recording to everybody who's registered, and then you can share it with your teams and review it if you have any questions for implementation. And I think we all know where to find Joe in the groups and email and everywhere else.
And guys, if more questions
LinkedIn,
come up,
yeah.
if more questions come up, post it in the WhatsApp group. If you guys are in the WhatsApp group, just post it. And if you got value in the WhatsApp group, just write a little sentence of the value that you got from today. That'd be helpful for me to be able to see what value you got. So just hop into the WhatsApp group, say, this is what I got. This is what I'm going to do. Thank you so much. And that's it. I appreciate that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on LinkedIn. We'll see you in the WhatsApp group, and we'll talk soon. Adios.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.